Happy Thursday, everybody. Today, I'm excited to share two new projects with you that are fall and perfect for Thanksgiving and all this lovely stuff that's in autumn this year. Yes, my name is Lori DeGrood from Lorita Marie Crafts, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Calgary, Alberta. And I love to come live here on Thursdays so that I can give you fun tips, techniques, ideas, inspiration to help you take your paper crafting supplies and turn them into beautiful projects. So yes, I have a really cute fall thank you card featuring some fun coloring techniques today and heat embossing and things like that. And then the second one is, I'm so excited about it. It's like actually a little favor that you can use for Thanksgiving. And I think it's gonna be really fun to put together for you guys today. So I also just wanted to mention that, and I have two new fall color combos. So if you were on my page, on my Facebook page, yesterday I posted a this or that between two fall color combos that I did last week. And it's literally like dead even between the one combo and the second combo. So I'm curious what everyone thinks. The first one has the more earthy with the reds and oranges, and the second one had like Pretty Peacock and Lost Lagoon in it for a different feel. And so I was really curious to see what people would like, but it was totally dead even, so that's kind of fun. So today I have two new fall color combos, so lots of ideas for you to get to use in your crafting. And I just wanted to mention that if you, did I freeze? Okay, hopefully it works itself out. I just wanted to mention that you can always subscribe to my email list. If you didn't know, I had an email list, and I send out an email every Friday, and you get a whole PDF with details of what I did on my projects on Thursday. So it's like a good reference for you to use in the future if you want to make the cards that I make here on my lives. And you get a free PDF just for signing up. And so then you get the weekly PDFs, and then you'll also be the first one to find out about any of my upcoming classes or specials or anything like that. And you want to sign up now if you're not on a list, because next week I am launching my Christmas Stamp-A-Stack, which I'm very excited about. So it's going to be lots of fun, so you don't want to miss out on that. And there's going to be opportunities locally, plus for me to ship out to you. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that. So I'll put a link here. If you're not on my email list, and you can subscribe. If you're on Facebook, there's a button for you to click here, or you can always go on my website, and I have like the sign up thing at the bottom of the page, and there's also a pop-up there. So that's all of the details. Now let's get to the crafting, because that's why we're all here, right? So we'll come down to the desk, and hoping everything's working out today for the video. So the first color combo that I wanted to share with you, so I have been using the All About Autumn DSP, and then it's kind of been like focusing how my color combinations are going. So sometimes that happens depending on what designer series paper comes out, right? So I kind of wanted to go outside the box of what's in the catalog right now and come up with different fall color combos. So to me, I mean, this is a very traditional color combo in my mind. So we've got crushed curry, Cajun craze, and pumpkin pie. And so we're going super traditional, and I'm going to make a thank you card that features these colors that I think you're going to love. And we're going to do some fun embossing today. So first, I'm just going to grab a piece of white DSP. So this is just 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to be using the Autumn Leaves stamp set again, but this is in a total different way that I've been using it before. So we've got, when you buy a stamp set, you want to see lots of different ways to use it, right? You don't want to just use it one time for one project. So I'm trying to find all sorts of fun ways to show you guys how to use it. And so we are going to do some heat embossing. So this is the embossing toolkit, which is really awesome. You get this little tray. You get the little embossing glue, which helps the powder not to stick where you don't want it. You get a little brush, and you get these little tongs to help hold your projects while you're setting it. So if you don't have this, it's a good thing to get. So the embossing buddy, you just kind of run it over your cardstock, and it kind of like repels the powder from sticking where you don't want it to stick. So that's always a good place to start when you're embossing. And then you're going to need a Versamark ink pad and white embossing powder. So I like to open mine before I get going so that it's all ready to go. And this is going to be hard for you to see on the camera, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink it up in the Versamark, and I'm going to stamp it 3 different times, and I'm going to stamp this one 3 different times, and then I'm going to go ahead and put white embossing powder over the whole thing. So hopefully I can go quickly enough where it's still all sticky. So I'm going to put one down there, and in person I can see the shine off the Versamark. So I can see where I've stamped, even though it probably isn't showing up on the camera all that great. So I can kind of see where to go. And then I'm going to grab the second one. And I'm going to go off a little bit on the bottom. And one at the top. And one kind of on the side there. Then I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to dump my white embossing powder all over where I stamped. I'm going to give it a shake, so make sure I've got good coverage. Give it a light tap. I used to flick the back of my cardstock, but I don't do that anymore because too much of the powder comes off when you do that. So you just want to give it a light tap. And then you've got your brush if some embossing powder has stuck where you don't want it. So you can just use your little paint brush to brush those off. All right, so let's close this up. And I will clean that up later. And then I'm just going to grab my heat tool, and we'll put it to setting number 2. And then we're going to set all this so that we can move on to the next thing. So I'm going to use my little tongs here to hold on. And here we go. So I was thinking about fall here in Calgary. And so Calgary, if you don't know, is in Western Canada, if you don't live locally here. And I find I like fall, but it's so brief. So September is always lovely. And then the snow could come at any moment. So I think I'm hoping there's not actual snow in Calgary next week, but I know in the mountains they've already got snow. So I'm not ready for that. I wish everything would wait until after Thanksgiving. We have Thanksgiving on, I don't even know what day it's on. It's in 2 weeks. Not this coming weekend, but the following weekend. So it's coming up fast. So when you're using your heat tool, you can see the powder changing. I should probably hold it up more for you. And we're going to be coloring this, and so we want to make sure that we've got everything set. All right. We're almost there. One more leaf. I just wanted to show you all the steps today. All right, it doesn't take too long. Okay, all done. All done. Thanks for your patience there. And now we're going to do some coloring with our color combination that I showed you earlier. So grab the ink pads here. So we've got crushed curry, pumpkin pie, and Cajun craze, and we are going to use our blending brushes. So if you don't have blending brushes, they come in a set of 3, and you can wash them out and rinse them, or you can get one for every color if you really want to go crazy. There's even like a little holder that you can hold your brushes in to store them. And I'm just going to open up. You can tell I don't use pumpkin pie a lot because I still have an old ink pad, but it's still nice and juicy and good. So I'm just going to keep using it. So I think I got everything there. So we're going to start with Cajun craze. And I just kind of start off a little bit, and then we're just going to go over top of our paper and our embossed images and everything. And I just kind of go in like a circular motion here. Okay. And I don't want to go up too high. We're just going to do the bottom kind of here. And then I'm going to use the same brush. I just kind of brush it off a bit so that when the colors are similar, I just use the same brush. And then I always get ink on my fingers. All right, and then we're going to do the pumpkin pie, which is, of course, a bit brighter of an orange. And then we'll go into the middle here. And then blending brushes means that you kind of go back down over the Cajun craze a bit so that the two colors blend kind of seamlessly together. And really, like, you don't need to have any like super crafty artistic skills to do this. You just, the brush is so well made that it does all the work for you. And you're just laying the color on. And then we'll do the crushed curry at the top. So crushed curry is a nice kind of golden yellow as opposed to Daffodil Delight or something, which is a lot brighter. So just circle into the ink pad, then circle onto your paper, and you just keep going until you're happy with how it looks. Just kind of want good coverage and go over those blending lines between the two colors so that it get that kind of seamless look. Ooh, looks fun already. And then I think I meant to grab a little Kleenex or something. So 1 second. Got one here, paper towel. And so then I'm just going to rub off some of the color from what I've embossed to bring that white back. So it sticks a little bit to what you've embossed, but not totally, as you can see. So then those leaves are gonna pop back out. All right, so this is the more traditional fall color scheme. There, looks awesome. And so I just kind of wanted to go with the lighter tone, bring out that white. So I've just got a white card base. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Stampin' Seal to put this on. So we'll just put this onto the front of our card, and then the card base itself gives you that nice matte for your prettily colored paper. That looks great. And it's fun because it's going to look different every time you do it, right? So my sample looks even a little bit different than this one. So this is fun. So then next, I want like a real natural kind of look to go with for my sentiment. And I wanted this to be a thank you card, and I want a nice big sentiment. So I'm going to grab this one from the Kindest Expressions. I always like big, bold sentiments. So when we've got one, I go for it. Always. So I'm going to stamp on crumb cake. And I'm just going to use the paper this time for my embossing because my tray is full of the white powder, because this time I'm going to emboss in black. So you can get, there's 2 different packs of embossing powder that you can get. You can get the metallics, right? So it's got gold and copper and silver probably in there. And then you got one with the basics. So you've got your white and your black and your clear. And so then you're all set up. And so I wanted to use black so that the sentiment punch. So I could stamp in black, of course. But when you emboss your sentiment, it just makes it that the color is just more rich and it just stands out more. So then we'll put our black powder on. Let's give that a shake and a little tap. And I might flick that. Oh, it's sticking lower. I don't want it. So that's where you use your brush. I think I might need a skinnier one. I think I must have moved when I put the stamp down, so it's kind of sticking in a second spot there, but that's not bad. Okay, and now we're going to heat set this one. And we'll just put that in there. If you don't have the embossing toolkit, that's what I do, like a folded piece of paper. So that works as well. And we'll grab our heat tool and our little tongs. I'm going to put this one up here. So once it starts to go shiny, that's how you know it's setting. And I find embossing stuff is such a good investment for your crafting because everything lasts for such a long time, right? So your Versamark is going to last. You can get a refill. The powder is going to last you a long time. And it's like, it looks so impressive when it's really easy to do. So it's one of those things that gives you like a wow factor on your card with being quite simple to do. All right, we're going to put some twine on here, or linen thread, my favorite. You could put something with more color if you wanted. I just wanted something thin. I love linen thread as like a good staple, and I kind of wanted it to look messy. I can't remember how many times I went last time. 4 maybe. I'm looping it back and forth about 4 times. And then I'll grab some scissors. And I was kind of just like wanting it to look a little messy, hanging out the back. If you don't like that look, you could just fold a ribbon kind of back and forth a couple times. I think I'll just put some seal down, and then we'll put dimensionals on the back. And I've got one other little thing to show on this card. And I'm just going to use the outside of my sheet here. Don't forget that the whole page is sticky, so you can use all of the dimensionals. It's like a bonus. Just cut it up to size. And then just play with that. And you can just trim it up a bit. All right, so then I like it like this. So it could just be like this, but I thought, oh, I always love to add like another layer. It's like, how can I add another layer to this? So if you wanted to add another layer, so I'll show you this by itself. Fun. But I thought we've got those lovely leaves from the autumn leaves dies. And so I cut out 2. So here's one. Here's a little maple leaf, and here's the other leaf. So one in pumpkin pie and one in crushed curry. And we can color these too to add a little like depth. So this is the pumpkin pie. And you can just use your blending brushes. There's mini blending brushes now too to do kind of these smaller detail things. And then I'm going to use the Cajun Craze on the pumpkin pie cardstock just so it has like a darker tone. And I'm just kind of going over the tips of the leaf, and then I'll hold it up to the camera so that you can see it. So this just gives like a depth to like your flat cardstock, right? It makes it look kind of fun. Simple, but it just kind of gives it a different tone look on it. And then I thought, well, you can just, you know, add them on like this. So with little dimensionals or little glue dots. So I don't know, do you like it with or without the leaves? I'm curious which one you like better, but I think they're both fun. So that's the first one. And then the second one is just kind of a fun little project. I was just kind of trying to think of something different to do to show instead of a card. And I was thinking about where we get inspiration for like our color ideas. And I was at my local garden center a few weeks ago, and they had all their fall stuff out, and I saw the cutest little selection of things in kind of blues and oranges. And so I took a picture of it so that I would remember. And I'm going to show you the color combo here. And it just goes to show that you can get color inspiration from anywhere. So I've got Night of Navy with Misty Moonlight and Pumpkin Pie with a hint of gold. So at the garden center, they had like a table runner that was plaid, that was like white with the blue as the checks, and the orange is like the skinny stripe in the plaid. And then they had these cute kind of pumpkins that were this paler blue with gold writing on it. And I was like, that is a great color combination. So that's my inspiration for this little thing. And we are going to make a napkin ring. Yeah, a little napkin ring to use for your Thanksgiving table or for a fall dinner, or you could turn it into a tag to put it on a little gift bag, or there's all sorts of things that you can do with it. So it's kind of a mess here, but I'm going to show, this is the autumn leaves dies. So another way to use these is we're going to go with the maple leaf here. And so what I did is, I've got ink on my fingernails here. I have cut out the maple leaf 3 different times in those colors. So I have got the navy, the pumpkin pie, and the misty moonlight. And then I'm going to layer them up together just to give a little depth. And so I thought, instead of being flat, that we could just like crinkle it up. So you could use like your bone folder to kind of break up the fibers in the paper a little bit to make it softer. And then just like scrunch it in your hands. So this sounds funny, but I've seen this on a few different projects, and I kind of like the way that it looks sometimes. And I thought, because this is a card, it's not flat, it's not going to go into an envelope, then you can have a little bit of that 3D kind of texture, right? So I'm just going to smush this up. I don't know, Thanksgiving comes up fast here. But I'm dreaming about stuffing and apple pie. I know for Americans it's so different because yours is not until the end of November. But we're already long done by then. All right, and this is the Misty Moonlight. So Misty Moonlight and Night of Navy look so good together because they're the same. They got like the right tones to kind of match together. And navy's a good neutral anyway. All right, smush, smush, smush. There we go. So I'm all about what is the easiest way for me to put this together. No fuss. So I'm going to use glue dots. And you could, I'm sure you could use liquid glue or other things, but I'm like, what's going to be the fastest way to put this together? Especially, let's say you are going to make these as napkin rings, then you're going to want it to be fast because you might have to make 8, 10, or 12, you know. So I went navy, the orange, and the Misty Moonlight. Just put 2 glue dots there, and I've just kind of offset them just so you can see all the colors. And then we want to add that hint of gold. So we've got this die here, and I went ahead and cut it out in the gold foil. And so we're going to lay that on top there, and it's going to add that nice splash of gold. And again, you can use your liquid glue or adhesive sheets. I'm actually just going to use glue dots again, and you can stretch out your glue dots to make them long and skinny. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm just kind of stretch them out so they just go down the middle. And you're only going to use this one time and then take it off, right? So that's going to definitely hold it well enough. So then we need to have a little detail, right? So a little ribbon. So I'm going to use the black and white check. So Stampin' has two great options right now of this ribbon. This is the black and white gingham that is in, let's see how big I want to make that. This is in the annual catalog, or you can just find it online under embellishments and ribbon. There's also a new one from the mini catalog that is a little larger, and it's vanilla instead of a white background. So it just has a little bit different look. And it's, yeah, it's a bit wider too. So I'm just going back and forth twice. So I've got 2 loops on each side and then a tail on each side. And then I want to add the gold back into this. So I'm just going to use this gold trim that is the Simply Elegant trim, where it comes in the silver and gold together. And I'm going to use that to tie this together. So I'm just going to tie a knot in the middle. And another one. And then it's kind of going to look like that. Okay, so we'll grab our trusty glue dot again. And put onto the bottom there. Cute. Okay, so we need a little sentiment. So I was thinking you could cut out a little tag and use it as a place setting. So you could put people's names on it. Sorry, I'm just going to reach over here. I use this die here. It's this nice shape, and I cut it out in navy. And I had a Happy Thanksgiving stamp from Paper Pumpkin from a few years ago. So Paper Pumpkin is fabulous for having little tiny sentiments. So I keep my stamp sets from Paper Pumpkin. So I was noticing with a customer that there really isn't any stamp sets that say Happy Thanksgiving. So I hang on to this one for just such an occasion. And so I cut out in navy, and then I embossed it in gold to keep with my gold theme here. And then I'm just going to tuck that in there. So maybe I'll just put a little, like a mini dimensional on the back. I think I've got some here. But you could also just cut it out in white, or you could just cut out a little strip of paper, in like white paper, and handwrite people's names on it too, right? Lots of ideas. And so how does this become a napkin ring? And I'll cut these tails in a minute. I'm going to use this natural ribbon that comes in the natural ribbon and copper combo, which I know is on back order, but maybe there's another thick ribbon, or you've got something in your stash that will work. Or you could even cut cardstock and like cut a strip. So this is about 1 inch wide, and you could use cardstock as well. So I think I want it to be about this big, which is, that's about 6 inches. So we'll just snip that, and then we'll grab some tear and tape. And so I need 2 pieces. So one to go on the inside, like that. And then I want one to go on the outside. So you see how they're opposite? So one on the inside, one on the outside. I'll peel off the backings of both, hopefully. There we go. And then I'm just going to fold that over. And the tear and tape is going to be great to hold that in place. And then all we need to do is attach this. And so I think we'll do tear and tape again. And so I'll just run it down the middle. I mean, you could use a glue gun too, or whatever. That just seems like extra work. All right, and then you've got, see if my lighting there is showing that good. Then you've got a cute little napkin ring, and I have it on a napkin here, so I can show you. Ta-da! And that was a great size, and it just slipped on rather easily. And then just look how cute that's going to look when you put it on your place setting. So just something fun if you want to get crafty, leading up to fall, having people over, leading up to Thanksgiving. So that's our little napkin ring holder, and then our fall card. To pop a little thank you in the mail. I didn't put those on. But there are our 2 projects today. So we'll just bring you back up here. So thanks for hanging out and watching those projects. I hope it gave you some fun ideas of something you can try, or even just 2 new color schemes that you can use for your fall projects as well. Don't forget that you should sign up for my email list if you're not already on it, so that you can stay up to date with fun classes like my Stampin' Stack that's coming up. And I have a mini retreat in November coming up as well. And also you will get a free PDF every Friday of the projects that I make here, so that you have a reference to use in the future. So that my goal is to help you get creative and use your crafting supplies. So if you ever need any help or anything, you can always contact me. My information's all at LoritaMarieCrafts.ca. And I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you next week with some more fun projects. Bye-bye.